All right, people. We are going to start up this call. Yo. Oh,
Let me talk to you.
hold on. We are just getting started right now. So, all right, let's get a mic check going and then we can get this thing underway. Are you there,
Yo,
brother? Yo.
Rami. Yo.
Right. We are ready to start. We are live with a weekend review with my friend here, Shoes of a Champion. Once again, good to have you here on this podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good to be back.
let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you.
All right. So this
All
weekend we
right.
had UFC 307. What is your recap?
Well, let's start. Let's start with the prelims.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So did you see Ryan Spann versus Saint Preux? I think that's how you say his name.
Nah, I
Have you seen that
I
one?
missed that fight, man. To be honest, I didn't watch.
Yeah, that was first round submission.
Oh wow, pretty quick one.
It was Yeah, it was a pretty quick one.
All right.
Ryan Spann, he's kind of been a mid carder in the UFC like for like years. Like he's kind of been like Derek Lewis. He'd have some good like really good fights, and he'd have some like fights he'd lose.
Yeah.
But like this fight, it was pretty surprising. It was pretty entertaining.
Okay.
The first round submission, guillotine. I think guillotine.
Oh, that's pretty.
So if so yeah, I don't know. Any of you guys, if you guys missed it, I would suggest you guys check out that fight. It was a pretty good fight. It was pretty entertaining.
All right. And then what
And
was next after that?
the next, have you seen Wonder Boy versus Joaquin Buckley?
No, I didn't even know Wonder Boy was on the card.
Yeah, it was the final fight in the prelims. It was a first round knockout. Joaquin Buckley pulled it off. I
Wow.
think Joaquin Buckley, he's got a pretty bright future. This is like
He
his
just beats.
like the last time I saw him fight.
So
Yeah, he
gotta
just
be
knocked
pretty
out
good.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Granted, Wonderboy's 41, but like
Yeah.
Wonderboy he didn't really look washed. He still looked pretty good in this fight up until the knockout.
Yeah, he's pretty fast.
Yeah, he's pretty fast.
All right, and then
Yeah,
later on we had Jose Aldo's fight, right? He lost to
yeah. That
Mario
before I get
Bautista.
yeah, I'm gonna say this. That was a robbery. That was a clear fucking robbery. If you like, those of you that didn't see this fight, uh, Jose Aldo was getting the better of Bautista on the feet, clearly, and Bautista kept trying to take Aldo down, but Aldo kept stuffing the takedowns. Bautista was just holding him against the fence for like most of the third round, and for whatever like it was a split decision, but for whatever reason, 2 out of 3 judges gave the control time to Bautista
It's just
for I guess a takedown attempt. It's like Aldo stuffed the takedown. He wasn't
he took any.
he wasn't doing anything.
He was just holding
Yeah,
him like.
damage wise, Aldo clearly hands down won the fight. I don't know what the other 2 judges saw.
Um,
I guess they were, control time. I don't know, for whatever reason the judges love to base everything off of control time, but like even though, attempting a takedown and failing isn't really control. If you ask me, that's not really control of the fight. Because Aldo stuffing the takedown, he's failing to take him down.
yeah, he's not
So
really
yeah, I think that
engaging. In fact, he's on the losing end of it because he's getting stuffed.
yeah, clearly. That was that was very disappointing. Like Bret Hart said, That was bullshit.
Yep, I agree. That was garbage.
It was.
Yeah.
And also before that we had Kevin Holland versus Roman Dolizeri. I think that's how you pronounce the name. That fight was also very disappointing. Kevin Holland's rib, like he broke his rib, I think, in the first round.
Oh wow.
So the doctors stopped it
Damn. That's
at the end of the first round. They didn't allow the fight to continue. I was very disappointed. I'm a fan of Kevin Holland. I think he's a pretty entertaining fighter.
yeah. I was hoping he would win too, but I mean, I'm glad I didn't bet on the fights because I would have lost.
Yeah, for sure. Those two alone, I would have lost.
Yeah. And then
And then next we got. Go on.
you want to do the main event?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, the co-main event, I didn't really watch it as much. My dad watched it more. I would say it was kind of boring. It just it just went the distance. Well, my dad told me that it was a robbery. My dad told me that Pennington should have won over Pena, but I didn't really
He doesn't
watch
the
this fight.
girls MMA. I didn't watch it either. I was busy. I was working
Yeah,
at the time.
I'm not really. I don't really follow women's MMA that much. But yeah, from what I heard, that fight was a robbery.
Yeah.
And then next we got
I
the main event of the evening.
yeah.
We got Alex Politon Pereira and Khalil Roundtree. This clearly this was the best fight on the card, clearly, as I expected. However, Khalil Roundtree did do a lot better than I thought.
Yeah. Well,
He lasted 4 rounds, and
I think I was right a few days ago when I told you in private that I thought Khalil Roundtree might actually do pretty solid, but I didn't think he would win against Alex Pereira. But Alex Pereira was saying that he respects the kickboxing game of Khalil Roundtree, and it showed in the fight. Like he gave Alex Pereira a bloody nose in the fight.
yeah, for sure, it was pretty competitive up until Roundtree gassed out towards the fourth round, fourth round.
Yeah,
But like
just how
a lot of like
it is. He just throws those shots that just suck the life out of you, and then he beats on your head.
yeah, that some people were saying that Roundtree won the first 2 rounds, even though it was just Pereira was kind of just saving his energy, while Roundtree was he was giving all he was really giving it all in the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
We saw what happened in the 4th round. Roundtree gassed out, and Pereira just fucking battered him.
Yeah. It was pretty brutal.
Very.
Did you see the guy?
Roundtree. Yeah, his fucking face was he had a big cut on his nose, and then he had a cut above his eye and right below his eye.
And his nose was totally broken.
That was brutal. It was a really bloody fight. I enjoyed it. It's very entertaining.
A little flashback to
I expect
school UFC from Alex Pereira there.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of reminded me of BJ Penn versus Diego Sanchez.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good fight way back.
Yeah, check out that fight. Or Robbie Lawler versus what's a Canadian guy, Rory McDonald. That was a brutal fight.
Yeah, lots of blood was in the main event.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well,
not very PG there.
Yeah, not very PG. Maggle.
Maggle.
But guess what? We also had WWP this weekend.
Oh yeah.
The WWE. Man. What did you think?
Have you been following it?
Look, I heard that CM Punk, Fragile Phil Brooks,
good God,
had
the biggest joke in UFC
match against Drew McIntyre and beat him. Remember Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, a guy that weighs
100
pounds more than him.
Yeah, the big jack guy.
Some roided up
more than him.
Some roided up Scottish guy, and the worst fighter in UFC history.
I mean, we're talking about the same guy that that he lost a decision to to Mike Johnson.
Yeah, Mike Jackson, the worst.
Yeah, Mike Jackson.
Probably the worst fight in UFC history. The fight was a joke, and the Mickey Gall fight, it was just a complete fucking battery. And we know that Mickey Gall, he's a mid carder in the UFC. He's not really like a fucking world champion.
Yeah,
This guy destroyed. This guy beat the fuck out of the CM Junk bum.
Yeah, but no, they had this match. Like, I guess it was the opening match of fucking Bad Blood was the pay-per-view. They're bringing back the old pay-per-views, guys, because they want nostalgia bait. So they're bringing back like old pay-per-view names.
Yeah. Well, like I
don't know why.
At least when they had their shitty
nostalgia bait, anyways, but they do
nostalgia bait. That's all they rely on.
Yeah, they need. And it was pretty junk. Like they had CM Punk win in the beginning, and they had some like long women's match inside there, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so boring. And then Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns were like teaming up against the New Bloodline. is like the big storyline. And now The Rock is getting involved somehow. He's just like. He just showed up, just had a cameo basically. The Rock is back because the ratings go up when The Rock's on TV, right?
Yeah. They need The Rock. Like, they fucking need him. Roman, Cody, Gunter, Seth Rollins, CM Junk, they're not draws. They're investing. WWE has this fucking habit of investing in the wrong guys. And, because they invested in these guys, they need The Rock back.
Yeah.
Back in the Attitude Era, they invested in the younger, every era, mostly every era they invested in, they created stars. They created their own guys. But the guys they create, the guys they push these days, they're not marketable. So they have to rely on The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock's time was 25 years ago. That's a long time ago. And he's still outshining what's supposed to be the best wrestlers in WWE.
He's outshining Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes by like a mile. Like nobody cared.
That shows.
And if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure this Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns New Bloodline thing against Solo Sikoa and the Usos. I mean, I'm pretty damn sure like nobody gave a shit that much about this. At least like
just a bunch of nerds and virgins.
Last second. And like, because I was just on Instagram and I saw a WWE post about it. I didn't hear really anything about it beforehand. It wasn't like it just wasn't in my line of sights. And that's like what happens if you're a casual fan and you're just not, it's like you're busy, you have a job and stuff, and you're actually trying to do other things and you pay attention to other things like the news and stuff. And then WWE is like, they just do a terrible job at presenting their product and trying to hype up stuff. And then the fact that the stars that they have aren't that great. Like you said, they're not that great. The stars that they have, like, they're not as great as like a Stone Cold Steve Austin or Dwayne Johnson or John Cena or a Hulk Hogan. They're Seth Rollinses and CM Punks and Roman Reigns. They're like there's a huge skill gap, obviously.
Yeah, there is. Those guys we just mentioned, the supposed best wrestlers of their era, none of them could even cut a decent promo.
Yes,
that's like
Rollins. He gets to
bringing the Rollins
like a lawnmower.
Look there, Seth Rollins. He just has a fucking. I don't get the hype on this guy. I don't get why this guy has been presented as this like fucking greatest thing since sliced bread for years. Just because of that shitty stable that's fueled. Like, this guy's small. He has no physique at all. He's like kind of skinny. He's built like CM Punk. He's like skinny fat.
Yeah.
And he's like, he wears like all these colorful tights and shit. He's like very like flamboyant and gay. Plus, speaking of gay, he did gay porn before wrestling. He did gay porn. He's a gay porn star, and this guy's fucking presented as one of the best of WWE. This guy's considered a generational talent, and the guy did gay porn before wrestling.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he was
He
like,
can't cut a promo.
he's from the Indies, and yeah, his promos, they're not particularly good. They sound like pretty much the same as like a CM Punk promo, basically. I mean,
Yeah, he's just a CM Punk knockoff. Not that CM Punk's any great, but he's
I do
he's
feel
just
like,
a CM Punk clone.
yeah, like I do feel like that's kind of what CM Punk did. And by the way, guys, if you don't know, CM Punk actually was the one who recommended to create the Shield because he didn't want to put over Ryback. He's the one who wanted to create the Shield. He didn't want to put over Ryback, so he created the Shield. And of course, he put as a leader, he put Seth Rollins. Of course, Vince McMahon ended up making Roman Reigns the leader at the end of it. But CM Punk wanted the leader to be Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins was supposed to be the guy that cut all the points for this team.
He also wanted Sami Zayn and what's that fat guy's name? Oh no.
Yeah,
remember that guy that used to come out to the oh no.
Yeah, he wanted
that guy was supposed to be in the
instead of
Shield.
Roman Reigns, and yeah, he wanted Sami Zayn instead of Jon Moxley.
Yeah, that was CM Punk's original idea of the Shield, and I mean, it sucked either way. But like, yeah, I mean, imagine that, a fat guy and some fucking smiling homeless guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the Shield was any great anyways. They were just three guys that, for whatever reason, dressed up in fucking SWAT gear. This is wrestling. You're not getting shot. Why are they wearing flak jackets and fucking khakis? This is wrestling. It didn't make any sense at all. Like these guys, I guess they're
Bret Hart. Oh, I'll get speared, and then they'll be the one who's knocked out because I'm wearing a flak jacket. Like the Bret.
Oh yeah, when Goldberg speared Bret Hart, he wore the armor.
It doesn't make sense because Roman Reigns does the spear. He's on your team. You don't have to worry about anyone else hitting you with the spear. I don't know. Maybe you're fighting the Big Show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And like, even the name alone, like the Shield. Why are they even called? Like, what the fuck is a Shield?
Yeah, it's
why are they called the Shield?
Funny. It's an acronym that doesn't even mean anything.
It's like,
I think
it's like really the Shield. Is that the best they came up with?
It was ripped off from the Marvel comic Shield. I think that was
Agents of Shield.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
I think that's what why CM Punk wanted it to be called Shield.
Oh yes,
because he's a Marvel.
CM Punk, he's a big comic book nerd.
Yeah, he's
a big Marvel comics nerd. Makes sense.
So he wanted it to just
like these guys,
it's a ripoff of Marvel's Agents of Shield.
Oh yeah, that's why they wear fucking SWAT gear, because they're supposed to be like agents.
Yeah,
didn't make any sense. It's like, this is wrestling. This is wrestling. Why are you wearing like? It made sense with Big Boss Man, because Big Boss Man, he was from the cartoon era when characters were jobs.
Yeah.
There was a dumpster guy, there was a policeman, there was a prisoner. He was from the cartoon era. What the fuck is a Shield?
There's
just three gay fuckers.
The IRS guy.
Yeah, there was an IRS guy.
There's IRS.
Fucking, there was all these. Like I mentioned, the dumpster guy, the fucking Repo Man. Yeah, there was a clown.
Way back in the day. Yeah, there's Doink the Clown. There's fucking the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, the Junkyard Dog, a guy that acted like a dog.
Yeah, and literally proclaimed to live in a junkyard and wore a bunch of chains on his neck.
It was the mid-90s. That was.
Oh, you're breaking out.
WWF at the time. That was their.
Sorry.
What's that?
You're breaking in and out.
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
Did you?
Not all.
Did you catch what I said? What I was saying?
No, I don't think the fans got all of that.
What's that?
Oh, what you said earlier.
Oh, what I was saying? Yeah. Anyway, so the Shield, these guys in their fucking SWAT gear, like these guys didn't make any sense. They were wearing SWAT gear and shit. Like, I guess they were ripping off Big Boss Man. Like, thing about Big Boss Man, he was from an era where like wrestling characters were like very cartoonish, and they were like basically jobs.
Yeah.
With stereotypes. Meanwhile, you got these three guys that, like, I don't know.
A graveyard guy.
Yeah, there's a graveyard guy.
An Undertaker.
There was a bunch, there was a dead guy. The Undertaker, yeah. Like, the reason, like, Like I don't know, for whatever reason, this group, the Shield, they're like by like smarks and shit.
Also,
They're looked back at as like this great stable and shit. They're
yeah.
like, for whatever reason, they're put on such a high pedestal. I never got it.
Well, is
They're just these three boring
I
jabronis.
think it's just because these marks will watch WWE in the modern era, and they'd hear Michael Cole going, "Oh my goodness, it's the Shield, the best tag team in the
Shield,
WWE," every single
yeah,
night.
the Hound.
And then you'd hear JBL,
They're like the Hounds of Justice.
I do so, and they'd say that that they're the best wrestlers ever. And they say that about every wrestler now on the show. He's the best wrestler in the WWE, the best wrestler flying in a Maggle. that's how they,
For whatever.
that's how they hype up their product, and it works on really dumb people. But if you like put
The smarks, these fucking nerds.
I mean, I get it.
These nerds and virgins, they buy into it.
I mean, I get it. It's pro wrestling. I mean, if you put any logic behind it, the whole thing falls apart because everyone knows it's fake. It's not a real fight. Yes, some of it hurts, guaranteed for sure. You got to respect the athleticism, but like the wrestlers aren't as much. They're not up to the par as they were in the '90s, and
oh yeah, they're not even close.
Yeah, they're not even close to what they were, and it seems like this whole everyone knowing that it's fake and kayfabe being dead, it kind of just like ruins the whole thing. And then like
wrestling. It's
a lot of times WWE tries to be like they try to create characters now that are just like they try to like be a character where they're like, oh, you're yourself, but that only works if you like exaggerate the character, right? It only works if you
works for
Cold, who's like
the guy's charismatic, yeah.
But he's fucking up to the max, turned to 100. He's a crazy redneck who smashes beers in his hands and chugs them on TV and drives a 4x4, or the fucking Rock Dwayne Johnson, who is like one of the most charismatic actors on the planet and can make that character work. But if you're just some guy, you're just some bum, like Sami Zayn, for example, if you're just some bum who looks like a homeless guy, nobody's going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
Especially if your character is, just myself. Which is what a lot
of those are the best wrestling characters. The guys who are just themselves, because they're that's why it works on a guy who's charismatic, a guy like The Rock, a guy like DDP, a guy like Austin, a guy like LA Knight today.
Yeah.
He's the only guy. LA Knight, he's the only one today that's like himself, but like he's super charismatic. So like the character works, because the guy's super charismatic. Like that, those are the best wrestling characters when they're just themselves. And if it's a guy like Roman or fucking Sami Zayn, fucking Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, they have no charisma. So like, if they're just themselves, they're just fucking, just these boring jabronis.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why That's why they don't. That's why they don't work, because they don't have charisma. Charisma, you either have it or you don't have it. You can't teach charisma. And those guys, Roman, Seth Rollins, they don't have it.
Yeah, they're just not as good.
Charisma isn't taught.
What do you think of them bringing back Goldberg now?
Yeah, I heard of that. Goldberg, they're bringing back Goldberg to job to Gunter.
Yeah, I don't
get that.
Terrible. Well, I hope he doesn't job to Gunter. That'd be shitty. But you know how WWE...
I mean, Randy Orton job to Gunter.
They've been pushing Gunter to the moon. I hope...
Yeah, I don't get it.
Goldberg just buries Gunter. They don't need to... They already had Goldberg lose to Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, and Roman too.
And Roman Reigns.
And fucking Roman.
They don't need to have him lose to Gunter. They're trying to bury this guy's...
Yeah, I'd rather... Yeah, it's embarrassing. I don't know, WWE, because their guys don't, their guys can't draw. They have to bring in nostalgia, like old nostalgia names, to try to put them over. So like Roman, he's the most fucking privileged wrestler ever. The guys had The Undertaker, Goldberg, You know,
I
Triple
do have
H,
a feeling.
Evolution, I think, all put him over.
Yeah,
He's had to have all these legends put him over because he couldn't do it on his own. Like these guys need these fucking old wrestlers to put them over because they suck.
yeah,
Like today's wrestlers, WWE, that's why they've been stat padding like with this fucking Roman 4-year title reign, which by the way doesn't fucking matter because wrestling's fake,
yeah,
you know. But like they've been stat padding. Roman's had this 4-year title reign. Gunturds had this fucking year-long intercontinental title reign.
yeah, and they make
Fucking A-Town Clown, he's at.
time.
They've been stat padding like with titles and shit with these long title reigns and shit. It's like stats don't fucking matter in wrestling. It's fake. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's not legitimate sports, you know. I don't know why they're stat padding.
But they want to pretend it's a legitimate sport, and that's the sad part. And then I'll put
Like
up stats. I don't know. Back in the day, stats used to be more like part of like a character or a storyline. Like Booker T used to just go 5-time world heavyweight champion.
I guess like Booker T for a catchphrase, a Goldberg streak, yeah.
No, like the
Like
Taker
with guys like
at WrestleMania, right? Undertaker, like that kind of made sense. Or Stone Cold,
yeah,
he's the first guy to win 3 Royal Rumbles. Or Kane, he has the most Royal Rumble eliminations, right?
yeah, but like
That doesn't
they
mean
did
anything,
like
though.
a lot of them. That's
I think the stats started.
it's
For me, it stopped meaning something. The stats when the New Day held the titles for fucking forever, longer than the fucking Road Warriors, and I was like, well, the product is basically dead for tag team titles because I'm never going to acknowledge that.
yeah, I'm not either. Just like you know, it's fake. It doesn't like it's not real accomplishments. It's all fictional. It's like we don't care about stats. We don't like stats. There's only been a like we just mentioned earlier. There's only been a few times when a stat would help with a guy's character.
Yeah,
But with today's wrestlers like Roman and shit and Gunter, their stats are just there so like W can be like, see, these guys are great. You know, Roman, he held the title for like 4 or 5 years. It's like so that doesn't mean he's entertaining, you know.
yeah,
Stats don't fucking mean anything in a play. This is like wrestling, it's a play.
yeah.
It's not real.
Not a sport. It's a play. You're right.
Like if you want to talk about stats, why won't WWE ever bring this up? LA Knight. The guy's t-shirts he's been like his t-shirt sales have been dominating and he doesn't have that much merch. The guy's been selling more merch than anyone on the active roster. WWE never acknowledges that.
Yeah,
That's a real
they
stat, you
don't
know.
acknowledge that, but instead they'd rather. I mean, it seems like LA Knight's doing okay now that he has the U.S. title, but like they're not doing anything
Yeah, but he could be better.
with this title.
He could be a lot, but like he's not
At this
he's not near he's nowhere near his potential.
right. This was the Raw pay-per-view, right? This Bad Blood, because they
It was.
have because they didn't have LA Knight or anybody on here on that pay-per-view. They didn't have any of the SmackDown
I mean,
folks.
I thought wasn't Roman and Cody SmackDown guys?
I feel like they're just free agents. They just switch brands whenever the fuck they want. It almost feels like, you know.
Oh, I guess because they get privileged. They're like the favorite. They're like the fucking yes men. So I guess they don't. I guess that rule doesn't apply
Why
to them.
wasn't LA Knight on this pay-per-view? He's a fucking champion.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. He's been defending his U.S. title every week on the on the weekly show against jobbers.
He has the shoes of
Like he's never shoes of a champion.
he has the shoes of a champion. LA Knight.
Yeah, he does. You know, I mean, if those of you that don't know, that's how I got. Those of you that don't know, that's how I got my name. I'm a huge LA Knight fan, and yeah, I thought that name sounded cool and unique, so yeah, that's why I'm called Shoes of the Champion. Shoes of a Champion.
Yeah. But
Yeah, and that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the stat padding too, so I agree with you on that. Let's talk about what happened as far as football was recently. Apparently, Kyler Murray is trying to make a comeback. He just beat 49ers.
Oh, Kyler Murray. Oh,
Yeah, so the Kyler Murray
Mickey Mouse.
guy did a rant about him a while ago. 5 reasons why Kyler Murray sucks. Go back and check out that video. But yeah, I mean, he just beat the San Francisco 49ers, apparently. I don't understand how he did that. Apparently, he threw 2 touchdowns. He also had an interception in the game. He also fumbled the ball. But he still won the game by 1 point, and no one's going to remember it. They're just going to say, oh, Kyler Murray won. They're not going to care about what the score was.
Yeah, they're not. It's scripted. Like, Nomadic here. He's made a lot of videos about the NFL being scripted. I also believe that I believe the NFL has been scripted for like ever, for like, at least the past 12, 13 years.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Kyler Murray, I guess
what they're doing here.
Yeah, it is.
And I think with football, like, it's very hard to exactly tell for every single game, because every single game, like in the regular season, especially early on, these games, like it comes down to who gets injured, because injuries do happen. Just like even in pro wrestling, which is scripted, injuries will happen to people. And it just depends on who's got the star power, who's got the most media time, who gets the media attention, who the bettors are betting for, who's going to, who they think is going to sell the most merch, and then who's got the most major players who aren't injured, So I think
that's like usually the teams,
and that's usually
the NFL would push,
is the teams that they push, yeah. And that's usually, like, right now, the NFL for the last 3 years has been pushing the Chiefs. The Chiefs just won the fucking Super Bowl, and now they're
3 years. It's been way longer than 3. It's been like
they're like undefeated.
6 yeyears.
No, the Chiefs are 4-0 and are about to go 5-0 right now because they're fucking whooping the Saints right now.
Oh yeah, the Saints.
I sure hope the Saints come back. I mean, I don't mind the Saints; they're cool, but they're probably not. It's 13-23. I mean, there's a chance. There's only the second quarter, I think, of this game.
I mean, I don't think the NFL would
care now.
Would allow that, because Patrick Mahomes, he's another one. He's the NFL's equivalent to Super Cena and Roman.
Reigns, yeah.
Just stat padding. They're just trying to build this juggernaut guy who's like just untouchable and just like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like,
yeah.
With Mahomes, the guy's never missed the AFC Championship. The guy's been there. The guy's guaranteed to at least go to the AFC Championship, and he's been to like 4 Super Bowls already.
Yeah,
I think. Like,
here's another.
Even if he does lose to the Saints.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you go first.
Even if he does lose to the Saints, they'll probably have some kind of the media will have some kind of excuse, like, oh, the referees or Travis Kelce wasn't playing up to par. Oh, the offensive line, like when that Super Bowl, that was the last really good Super Bowl. Well, I guess the Rams one after that was pretty satisfying with Joe Shiesty, but like that Super Bowl where Mahomes got destroyed by Brady and the Buccaneers. The excuses was that Patrick Mahomes played injured. The O-line, they were playing with backup O-line. The defense was bad. Tyreek Hill was bad. Basically blaming everyone but Mahomes.
Yeah.
If they lose to the Saints, that'll be the excuse this time.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be like, oh, Travis Kelce hasn't been playing well.
Yeah, all the time.
Apparently, Travis Kelce apparently is having the worst season of his career so far. He's yet to have a touchdown catch.
He's junk.
Jared Goff has more receiving touchdowns than Travis Kelce, and he's a quarterback. And that's one receiving touchdown.
Yeah. Well, guess what? This one will shock you, though. The Commanders fucking whooped the Browns and made Deshaun Watson quit. He quit mid-game.
Rapist.
Deshaun Watson quit mid-game.
He quit mid-game.
Yes, he threw his helmet.
I think Deshaun Watson
throwing a temper tantrum.
No one likes Deshaun Watson. No one likes Deshaun Watson anymore after the scandals, after the sexual assault and shit.
Fans boo.
He's done.
And
His own
by the way,
his own home crowd hates him. Like even Browns fans hate him. My dad actually told me earlier that the Browns should bench Watson and start Jameis Winston. I mean,
I don't think
Watson sucks, but like Jameis Winston won't. Jameis, let's be honest, Jameis Winston won't be any better.
a little bit younger and more nimble.
Yeah, like
Jameis
the Browns should have just kept Flacco. I heard Joe Flacco last year, like he like after Deshaun Watson like got injured last year, he like revived the team and took them to the playoffs,
yeah,
and then they got rid of him.
hard.
It didn't make any sense.
They don't understand how
So now there's
Flacco revived the team.
so now, man, they got rid of him. Now like he's on the Colts, I think,
I mean, come
where
on,
he's like backing up some mumble rapper.
come on, man. Like normally, if a backup would take a team from from a playoff drought to back to the wild card, and even put up a somewhat competitive game in the wild card, normally that would be enough to guarantee you a starting spot next year, right? In the contract
It
negotiation.
usually would be. Plus, Flacco, he's been proven
Or at
he's
least
proven that
or at
he
least
can win a Super Bowl.
opportunity to like train a rookie as the starter until the rookie can surpass them.
Yeah, for sure. But for whatever reason, they left. They dumped him, and they picked up Jameis Winston, one of the most overrated. Like Jameis Winston, I can't stand up. Like, there's always excuses behind this guy. There's this narrative. I've always wanted to rant about this guy. That was my chance. So Jameis Winston, he was the number one pick in the 2015 draft. That's gonna be 10. That's a decade. That's soon to be a decade ago.
Yeah.
The guy's never been good. Like the guy's never been good. The guy's always been like a jobber quarterback. And like because he has like this fucking flamboyant, goofy personality, I guess people like him. He's like a fan favorite.
Yeah.
But there's like this narrative that there's this like remember that video, right? Like
Yeah,
where
didn't
they
he
talked about
dance on his
Jameis Winston's
torn
time with the
ACL?
Buccaneers.
Didn't he dance on his torn ACL?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he tore his ACL.
But then he danced.
He like injured his knee a little. He celebrated a touchdown, I think, and then he damaged he tore his ACL from the celebration.
No, and then he was
That was
back on crutches, and then after the game, and then he plays like mumble rap on.
Yeah, and he danced again. That's right.
And then he starts.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
On his broken leg.
Yeah, that was hilarious. The guy was just fucking dancing and like, guys, look it up on YouTube. Those of you watching, look it up on YouTube.
2 weeks after that, though, I'm pretty sure
did he wait 2 weeks later?
Yeah, if I'm correct, after he danced on the ACL in the back room, he injured himself more, and he had to wait longer to come back.
Yeah, that was
so fucking dumb.
I mean, I'm under the impression that the NFL scripted, so I wonder if like wrestling too. There's kayfabe injuries. I wonder if that ACL tear was legitimate.
I don't know, man. He was able to
dance. It probably was, but it probably was, but it probably wasn't either because the guy was fucking dancing on crutches. If you tore your ACL, the last thing you'd be doing is dancing on crutches.
And how about #refball during the Cowboys versus Steelers game? What the fuck was that, man? The Cowboys are not the same team they were last year. They're a shell of their former selves. They lost DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons last week, and they decided to bring in KJ Henry, a practice squatter from the Bengals, to sub in for D-Law. I'm sorry, he ain't no D-Law. He didn't do really very much of anything in the last game. But hey, he showed effort like those Cowboys, stand for thing. He showed effort. Cowboys beat the Steelers 20-17 in an absolute nail biter. There's a reason we call them the cardiac comeback Cowboys, because that's what it was yesterday. It was a cardiac comeback with a fuck ton of flags because it's ref ball. Because that's every Cowboys Sunday is ref ball.
I have a cousin that likes the Cowboys, so like he kept texting me and calling me when the game was going on. He kept telling me, he just kept texting me, telling me his frustrations and shit with the game. And, he kept telling me how, Dak isn't playing. Dak isn't playing like how he should be, like how he's being paid. He isn't playing up to par. My cousin kept telling me this game sucked. This game was boring.
I told people don't pay him. Let this be his make or break year. If he plays good this year, if he takes you back to the playoffs, maybe you can negotiate. But guess what? You're not gonna.
If he wins in the playoffs,
He doesn't deserve the top tier. Okay, let's just say I would have left him on his contract if I was Jerry this year. Left him on his last year of the contract. If he takes you to the wild card, you make a negotiation with him. You don't take his highest offer. You negotiate with him. You cut him down. You'd be like, look, we like that you take us to the playoffs. You're selling us a bunch of merch. We're trying to do business here. Let's go ahead, make a deal, and put him at give him a top 15 quarterback salary. No, don't give him a top 3 quarterback salary. That's what they did. They gave him the number one QB salary of any QB in the league. He's getting
he's the highest paid player.
260.
Yeah, he's the highest paid player in league history.
Yeah, isn't it $260 million that he's getting paid?
Something like that for it's like a 4-year contract. He's making $60 million a year.
Yeah,
plus a signing, plus a $5 million signing bonus.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's fully guaranteed. It's the biggest it's the highest he's the highest paid player in NFL history.
And the guy's
he doesn't
filthy rich. The guy's already filthy rich. He was getting paid the $40 million contract was the last one that he was on, the $40 million one.
Yeah, his previous contract was also, it was already
large.
A big contract already.
Yeah. I would probably.
Yeah.
I would say though he's not even worth $40 million. He's worth more $20 million, maybe 15.
It's no one likes to bring this up, but there's there's a reason why Brady has 7 Super Bowls, because Brady was never one of the hot. He always took a pay cut. Brady never had a big contract. He was always one of the he was always paid a mid-tier quarterback despite winning every season.
Yeah.
The guy always took pay cuts to make his team better. So that the team would have more salary cap space to sign bigger names.
Yeah, he's a man of the organization.
That's why Brady's always been winning.
Yeah, he's a man of the organization. What can I say?
And other than Dak, who the second and third highest paid quarterbacks are behind Dak? Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers, who's had one season.
Yeah.
He's only played one season. He got that big contract. That was previously the highest paid contract before Dak.
Yep.
And the third place, I think, is what's that guy? That guy from the Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lance. He's the third, and he's a jobber. He plays for the fucking Jaguars.
Yeah,
and he's the third highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
I don't know. I think most of the deal is that hair gel deal that he's getting or whatever.
Oh yeah, Gillette.
Yeah, Gillette. The Gillette deal. I think that's what most of the contract comes from.
It's the fucking Khan family, they're not good businessmen.
Yeah. They're shitty.
The Khan family, they can't run a football team. I don't know how their soccer team's doing, but they can't run a football team. They can't run 2 wrestling organizations. Yeah. They're just poor businessmen.
They're not great. They're not great.
Yeah, they're not very great.
Man. You want to talk about some politics, I guess?
Anything. Point? Yeah. What do you want to talk like the greatest wrestler ever would say? What do you want to talk about?
Cody Rhodes.
I'm being sarcastic. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about some politics recently, because I've been pretty pissed about Kamala Harris. I kind of want to rant about Kamala Harris a little bit. I'm gonna let you
Kamala
start off first
about her. Harris.
Kamala Scum.
What's
Harris.
So
Scumula.
yeah, one. Scumula. What's the latest on Kamala Scum Harris?
All right. Well, let's. I gotta look into it. Hold on. Well, apparently, I wanted to talk about the Kamala Harris incident with getting endorsed by all these football players recently.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot. Yeah, I wanted to mention that earlier.
Yeah, I wanted to get.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
I looked up to a lot of those guys. A lot of those guys on that list.
Yeah. Apparently, Emmitt Smith and Calvin Megatron Johnson, among multiple.
Ed Too Tall Jones,
Ed
Jerome Bettis,
Jones, yeah, fuck Jerome Bettis,
Willie Lanier,
yeah.
a bunch of guys I really looked up to. A lot of my former, I used to like these guys were like my favorite football players. But yeah, I'm very disappointed in them.
Apparently, they are now endorsing
looking up-
Kamala Harris though, instead of Trump or anyone else. They're apparently endorsing Kamala Harris. Just out of the blue. It's on Yahoo.com. When I looked it up, and guess what? I think Kamala Harris and the administration has paid these people off. I think they are paying a lot of people off. Like they paid off Jesse Ventura to go ahead and go and endorse Kamala Harris because Jesse Ventura never thinks like that. Jesse Ventura was one of the guys that they've tried to convert to their side, and now they're converting these football players. And I don't know, man. It just seems sus. It seems fake. It seems phony.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. Like, I don't know. I guess fucking like Emmitt Smith. He's not like. I don't think he's like full time with any like networks like ESPN and shit. Right? He's like just a guy that like would occasionally praise the Cowboys.
Yeah, like
it's like I could
like most of these guys are all.
I don't see.
Most of these guys are out of like the picture. Like most of these guys are all retired. They're all retired football players, and
yeah, it's bizarre. Like I'm not.
I'd probably say
like I'm not
say these are the type of people that would do something for a lot of money. That would do something like this, endorse a political candidate, right? Not because they put it together
probably
one list, because it's not like we got all. It doesn't seem authentic because it's all just one list, and you have to, and it's online, right? And it's just being produced by Yahoo.com, right?
Yeah, it's also on Wikipedia.
And Wikipedia, and reported by the Biden-Harris administration, right? All together as one list. It's not like each of these football players is making a lofty, long statement saying, "Oh man, I endorse Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris is going to do this and that and that and this." No, it's more of a we're just going to pay you guys to throw your name on a list and say you guys endorse us.
Yeah, that is true. I looked at Emmitt Smith and Calvin Johnson. I did look at like their Instagram and like their X accounts, their social media. I didn't see anything on like their endorsements.
It doesn't appear like
their name is just on that list.
It just doesn't appear like they really cared or anything to like even bring it up or bring anything political up in the recent times, anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. It seems
like
suspicious to me. But then there's a lot of.
I don't know. I think they probably.
There's a lot of athletes who endorse Trump too, and they've endorsed it in far better ways than just putting their names on a list and having it read on websites. I mean, Tom.
Yeah,
Brady,
like I'll say,
he was found to be a Trump supporter by having a MAGA hat in his in the back right of his locker room.
Yeah.
And then Hulk Hogan, he endorsed Trump by ripping off his T-shirt.
Yeah, at the Trump rally.
Yeah.
Also, I don't really follow college football that much, but apparently the two Texas quarterbacks are also Trump supporters. Arch Manning, who was the nephew of Eli and Peyton Manning,
Arch Manning,
and Quinn Ayers. I'm a fan of these guys now. Just for they support Trump. I'm rooting for these guys now. I guess I guess I'm rooting for the Texas Longhorns. Plus, Gardner Minshew and Mason Crosby from the Raiders. They also endorsed Trump. So, yeah, I'm rooting for these guys.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, of course, there were a lot of SJWs melting down because they took a picture with Trump, but it's like now it's like if you take a picture with Trump, it's like a death sentence to the left. It's like it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that this is the way that people think, but yeah, like it's just tribalism. You know what I mean? When they do that, when they say that it's the end of the world if someone endorses Trump, like it's just tribalism. It's petty. It's team sports at that point.
Yeah, that's how the left behaves. Like anything.
A lot of Kamala supporters as well. They're just they have TDS. They have Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, like you mentioned the signs, right? The fucking people that took down signs. You mentioned that, right?
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of there was a bunch of Trump signs around town recently, and homeless people apparently were taking shopping carts and climbing the telephone poles that these signs were nailed up on, and they were ripping them down, and they went out of their way to do this. I'm like, how? These people just have so much time on their hands and motivation to actually do this stunt to go and climb a telephone pole and rip down a Trump sign because they hate Trump so bad. And there was another video I saw recently where it was this Biden supporter who was in his car. His name was Chad, and he was driving his car down his road, and he saw a Trump sign, and he got so triggered that he rolled over the Trump sign. Well, I didn't know the Trump sign was
I saw that.
4x4 with a bunch of nails in it, and it popped his tire. And yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That's ironic. His name is Chad. He's anything but a Chad, like they say these days.
He's not a Chad. He's a Sig.
He's not a Chad.
He's not a Sigma.
He's a fucking
Chad. He's a beta male.
He's a soy boy.
He's trash.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and
pretty lame. I don't know. Every time I see those videos, Trump. Yeah.
He went back to Butler the other day, and he was with Elon.
Yeah.
Rocket Man, as Donald Trump calls him.
Yeah. I gotta get me that black MAGA hat.
You wanna be dark MAGA?
Yeah, I want to get that dark MAGA hat.
Dark MAGA. Yeah.
Dark MAGA.
Yeah. I mean, I like this hat that I have. To show the camera. I like this.
Want to see it?
It's the
that hat.
The fuck Joe Biden hat.
The fuck Joe Biden hat.
It's a cool one.
I gotta get you a fuck. Well, actually, I gotta get me a fuck Kamala hat.
Fuck Kamala hat. I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta get me one.
I feel like fuck Biden triggers them enough already. Yeah,
he's not running anymore though.
Yeah, but I mean, he still sucks. He's still
the
old man.
Like since he is. Like since the upcoming election is Kamala, I kind of want to get a fuck Kamala hat.
True.
Not literally. I do not want to do that. That's disgusting. But fuck Kamala.
Kamala sucks.
Yeah, she sucks. I don't get it. I don't get how they're trying to say she's bringing change. She's literally been the VP for over 3 years, for like 3 years and like 10 months. She's been the VP, and what change is she gonna bring?
The excuse for them is, well, the VP can't do anything because the VP doesn't have the executive power, and I'm like, bullshit, because Joe Biden just said in a meeting the other day that that Kamala Harris was signing off on all this major legislation during the during the presidential administration. She was signing off on all this legislation. She was the tie-breaking vote in the to break the tie and have Joe Biden sign a bill. She's a tiebreaker. She's a VP. Not only that, but if she really wants to get some of these issues that she's telling, the voters about at her rallies, if she really wants to get them done, yeah, it would be detrimental to her campaign, obviously, because in order for her to run on these issues, they need to still be issues by November. But couldn't she at least, if she was an honest politician, try to talk to Joe Biden and be like, "Hey, Biden, you're the president. Can you sign this executive order to get this done?" Right?
Right.
It seems it's just the logic kind of adds up, doesn't it? I mean, the Kamala Harris has that power, but they're going to pretend that she doesn't. They're going to play it off and make up excuses for why she can't do any of it now, and just don't believe it. She's just trying to con people into voting.
She's playing dumb.
Yeah, she plays dumb.
They're literally just playing dumb.
It is so hard to talk to some of these people, these SJWs online, because what the mainstream media does is they think that we have a short-term memory. Apparently they want to pretend that none of the previous administration happened, right? They want to pretend none of the hundreds of thousands of headlines about how terrible this administration has been on every issue across the board, just because they wanted to spite Donald Trump and erase his policies. They want to pretend that none of that happened, that the whole coronavirus thing is behind us and we can just move on with our daily lives and nobody will see any repercussions for it. That's what they want to pretend. And then they make it so it's all about happy, joy. And Kamala Harris being the joyful warrior. She doesn't say anything of substance at any of her rallies, but she says a lot about joy and feelings and how bad Trump is and how many felonies Trump has and how she's going to be a prosecutor president and how she's a joyful warrior. What she's doing is and these people, when you talk to them, you see that they don't remember anything from the news. They haven't been paying attention. But now they care about his joy. Now they care about as a woman president. All they care about is prosecutor president. They don't understand anything about actual politics or substance or policies. They just care about joy and what Kamala Harris can basically vibe out to them.
Yeah, leftists, they're dumb. They'll believe anything, like anything the left, like anything Kamala, anything CNN, ABC, NBC, all these fucking outlets, anything everything they're told, they'll just believe it. And we're still talking about we're still talking about January. They're still bringing up January 6th. Orange Man bad. And for whatever reason, abortion. Abortion is brought up as this fucking huge topic and shit. Trump's never said anything about banning abortions.
I think I want to bring this up about abortion. I think abortion is really the Democrats' only card that they really play to, and it's what the leftists are freaking out about the most. Because every day MSNBC, CNN, they say, "Oh, Trump's got to ban abortion. He's going to do Project 2025." Okay, well, there's a Project 2021 that obviously never got implemented because Donald Trump never took power. There's a Project 2017, which Trump didn't do much with, and it's by the same organization. Yeah, J.D. Vance is a member or former member of the Heritage Foundation, but he's actually seeming pretty moderate, and as a vice president, like these people say, they worry so much about J.D. Vance being the vice president. As they say about Kamala, well, he can't do much. I can say the same thing, right? I doubt he's gonna
Yeah.
that much, but what he will do is he's going to be a guy who will vote the way Trump wants to on the bills that get passed in the House, and these bills are going to have to be bipartisan because, regardless of what people think, I think the Republicans are expecting a big red wave um, in all seats. Like they expect a red wave in the Senate and House, but I feel like what's going to happen is we'll either maintain the House and still lose the Senate, and the Senate will still be maintained by Democrats, or we'll win the House, or we'll lose the House and win the Senate, and have a slim majority in the Senate, and have a lot, the minority in the House of Representatives, and that's going to force that there's going to have to be some bipartisan legislation to be made because like we've seen, it can create some deadlock, but if bipartisan legislation is made, then we can actually make progress. JD Vance as vice president is going to be that final ace in the hole where he can be the last vote for more leaning Republican bills when they pass. So I think that's what JD Vance is going to do, but I don't think he's going to be, I think when they say, oh, he's going to be a dictator, I mean, I think they're based on what we saw from the debate performance, and I don't think he's going to be a dictator. I don't think he has the power or authority to. And I think a lot of people would really turn on the administration, even if they did decide to do that. I think they might be a little bit too smart for that.
I mean, like that's what it's always been like since like 2016, 2015 about Trump and shit. The whole thing was, oh, he's going to be a dictator. We've had 4 years of him, and it's 2024, and that's still the View and shit. The View is really pushing that that narrative that, oh, Trump, this is going to be if Trump wins, this will be the last election. Democracy's at stake. Like all these woke ass actors like Mark Hamill
says if
they keep saying that democracy's at stake.
Oh. Yeah, and Elon says if Kamala wins, that Kamala will be a dictator. So who am I going to believe? Am I going to believe the fucking dumbasses on The View, or am I going to believe one of the world's smartest guys in Elon Musk?
Yeah, exactly. A bunch of old fucking
hags.
Just a bunch of senile old hags.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna believe them? Sadly, there's people that will believe them, but hopefully that's a real hopefully that's a really small minority.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how these bitches have any credibility at all.
Yeah.
Like Whoopi Goldberg is an actress.
Yeah, but
was an actress.
As for abortion, though, I think Trump's not going to be as extreme as people think he is. I think he's just going to leave it to the states, and nothing's really going to change. I think the states are still going to have time to vote. Like in their midterms, you're going to see like abortion amendments come up. Like in Arizona, they'll try to go for a more bipartisan abortion amendment. Like what I heard last, I think, from Arizona was they were trying to change it from what would be like a 2-week abortion ban to a 14-week abortion ban with exceptions, which sounded a lot more reasonable. They wanted to default onto that one. Like I think we're going to see a lot more stuff like that in the coming 2 years if Donald Trump gets elected, versus a flat out abortion ban. I just don't think you're going to ever see a flat out abortion ban, especially because Donald Trump has said over and over and over again that he wants to leave it to the states, and he doesn't, he believes in the 3 exceptions like Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, exactly. I still don't get how there's people that believe these narratives that Kamala Harris and all these celebrities are pushing. Oh, Trump, he's anti-abortion and shit. It's like, no, like there's a lot of celebrities and shit. A lot of celebrities that endorsed Harris. Like one of the only topics they ever bring up, other than women president, it's abortion. They would always say like, "Oh, women's right to choose." Like that, they don't actually say abortion. They just say, "Oh, women's right to choose."
What
It's like,
happened to my right
why is that?
when they were going to say get a jab or you lose your job?
Yeah, these are the same people that were, forcing us to get all these fucking vaccines and shit. And if we oppose, we're
You can't go into the
fuck our, like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, fuck our rights.
yeah.
These same people are bitching and whining about women's rights, but like, what exactly are they talking about? Women's rights? All they're talking about is abortion. It's like there's nothing that women, there's no rights that men have that women don't have.
At least not
Like,
here.
it's just abortion. All I'm talking about is abortion.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not here in the United States, obviously, like in the Middle East and shit. Like, yeah, women are like fucking slaves there, but like, we're in the United States. What fucking rights do women not have?
Yeah.
Like, every time I hear that women's rights, I
I
cringe.
mean,
It's
come
like,
on, man.
what do you mean women's rights?
This is not the first, not the second time, but the third time that a woman has ran for a position of major office in an election.
Yeah,
The first time
it's like,
Sarah Palin
what, like,
with John McCain as vice president. The second time was Hillary Rodham Clinton in 2016. And then the third time now is Kamala Harris running. And by running, like
yeah,
make it to the primaries. I mean, there's obviously been a lot more. Like Tulsi Gabbard has run, obviously, and like Jill Stein has been running for like the past 4 elections already now. But
yeah. Even what is that? Like, what is that? RFK's was gonna be his VP
Nicole
Shanahan. Was she like running
I was going to
for
bring.
president too?
Yeah, Nicole Shanahan ran as well. And remember in the 2020 Democratic primary, I mean, there was Elizabeth Warren in there. Kamala Harris, of course, ran that time as well. So did Tulsi run. And yeah, I think there was like another chick or two in there as well. I forget. But there's a
Like
lot of
Nikki Haley too.
Oh yeah, Nikki Haley. This last run. Yeah, you're right. You brought that up. And this last Republican presidential primary, Nikki Haley was running.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Like, and they like to say it too, like, oh, women don't, women, men are paid more than women. It's like, no, it's just a lot of the jobs that, it's like a lot of the jobs that men do, like, just pay more than all the jobs women do. Like, like anything like heavy, like, like construction and shit, like anything involved like heavy lifting and shit. It's just men are more qualified for those jobs and
And they
more likely to want those jobs.
they're more likely.
Women can have those jobs, but they choose not to. They choose not to pick those jobs. That's why, like, when they like to bring up stats and shit. They like to bring up stats and shit like that. Oh, men get paid more than women. It's don't like look at the jobs, like
Average.
just the jobs that men are most more likely to do. Pay more.
Yeah,
That's just that's just how it is.
and
That's not an insult. That
hours.
is just a fact of life.
The men are more likely to work like a 40-hour work week, while you'll see a lot of women will opt to take a part-time job, which is fine. I mean, I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
I work part-time.
yeah, a lot of that too. Like the men usually work more. Like the women, if they have kids and shit, they stay back and they watch the kids.
Yeah,
They take care of the kids while while the dad's working. Like that's just how it's been for like a long time. But the feminists and shit, they want to make it like a big deal and shit. They want to make it seem like like women have no rights.
they like to just exaggerate and make it seem like it's the end of the world for things that aren't.
Yeah, they just have these like made up. They have these made up problems that aren't even there.
Yeah, what we call that is we call it first world problems.
Yeah,
First world problems.
first world problems.
Yeah. Only in the first world
Yeah,
can you have those problems.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
feel like only in the first world
Anything?
only in the first world can you have the problem of where you don't decide where you can't decide what bathroom to use.
Yeah, that's
That's a first.
that's a problem. That's a problem we have going on. I don't think. Well, the left is actually for that shit.
Yeah,
The left is trying to normalize that
it's a
stuff.
first world problem. They're like, oh, people can't decide what
Like, and
bathroom to use. Well, guess what? I've got the solution for it all, right? For a whole. Oh, what bathroom do I use? Right? Another solution. What if? What if we just made it a lot more common to have family bathrooms in establishments, like the one you see at the local Target? You have a family restroom that anyone can use. Doesn't matter if you're boy or girl or you're crippled. You can use the bathroom, right? Just like the one that we used to have
right,
at a high school. They used to have back in high school. They used to have a family bathroom, as we call it, right, or a unisex bathroom, right?
did they? I don't remember that.
A lot more establishments could put those in, and it solves the problem of, oh, I don't know which bathroom to use, because only one person can use the toilet at the time.
Yeah. SpongeBob predicted it. Remember, there was like a SpongeBob episode where, like, I think it was Patrick. I can't even tell the bathrooms.
Yeah, it was funny.
I saw him beam like on that. Like,
Yeah, I did.
and that episode was from like fucking years ago. They predicted it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I can't even tell the bathrooms anymore.
Maybe we just wait for one of them to walk out.
Yeah, I don't think that'll help.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah.
So, was there any other topics?
Nah, you got any?
What do you want to talk about next?
You got any closing remarks?
Oh, guys, those of you watching, vote for Trump. Don't forget to vote for Trump. If you're sick and tired, if you're sick and tired of the gas prices, the inflation, the pushing of this LGBT, all these false narratives, if you're tired of the lies, you know, the silence of free speech, if you're tired of all of that, vote for Trump. And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's been good having you on here.
All right.
Go check out Shoes of a Champion's channel on YouTube. He's got a couple of videos up. And yeah, go ahead, and if you haven't already, as I put in the comment section here, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Nailed it. See you guys next time on the Nomadic Cole YouTube channel. Goodbye.